What is up, world? What is up, world? You are in tune to the KnoItAllz podcast with your usual suspects, man. Big Tate, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, Ma. What's good with you, man?
Man, we about to get it crack-a-lacking and talk about the wide world of sports. There's so many things that's done happened over the week and this weekend, man. I just can't wait to get to it. Big G, man, how you doing, man? What's popping?
Man, 5 hours and 12 minutes to free agent frenzy. Let's get it in, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Sheesh, man, it's a lot going on, including baseball and football free agency, man. There's so many things that we're sitting here and ready to talk about. But man, as always, everybody that has been watching, man, we appreciate you for rocking and kicking it with us, man. But if you would take the time and like and subscribe, like on Facebook, subscribe on Twitch. And I'm finding our Twitch community is getting bigger. So you guys, as you're subscribing on Twitch, man, make sure you say something. Make sure you say something so that way I could get back and get to you. But if you subscribe on YouTube, when we go live, definitely you'll get that notification and you'll show up, man, and we can get right to it. But before we get to that, man, let's go ahead and get to this. And as I stated earlier, man, you are in tune to the KnoItAllz podcast where, you are treated to the champion KnoItAllz, who's not Tate, it's definitely me. But yeah, man, listen, we're going to jump right into it. The first thing I think we need to talk about, and Tate, definitely let's hit this before we get, because if not, we'll forget about it. Baseball strike has ended, man. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I think I mean, baseball is probably used to be America's pastime. It's probably now second or third. We know football is the number one sport in the United States. So maybe baseball is third behind basketball. But I mean, people look forward to baseball. Baseball signatures. The spring is here and the summertime is coming. So I'm glad they got their labor agreement done and stuff like that. I like the rule changes, though some of the rule changes are changing back. We're going back to regular double headers. The game's gonna be 9 innings. The last since the COVID shortened year, and last year the doubleheader game, the second game was 7 innings, and they put a ghost runner on second base to try and speed it along. We're going back. We're taking that away, just regular baseball, man. So I'm kind of excited at the prospect of my Cincinnati Reds. They picked to finish third in the Central Division, but we got a good young team, some good young pitching. We traded Sonny Gray today to the Minnesota Twins
Wow.
for a young 18-year-old pitcher that was picked seventh overall in the draft this past year. His name is last name is Petty. Can't remember his first name, but he's supposed to be a really good prospect. So I'm looking forward to watching the Reds. I got the league pass, so I watch most Cincinnati Reds games.
See, now
That's
that's
it.
what I'm talking about. But I think, the CBAs and all these collective bargaining agreements that people are doing inside of the sports realm, whether it be basketball, football, or baseball, is very important, man. And I think these rule changes, um, although they may be a step back in some direction, I mean, Tate and I were talking about this off camera, being the fact that, pitchers can't bat anymore. I mean, it's really not a big thing, but there are pitchers who have big bats, right? And I guess one of the fixes, and we were talking about that. I guess one of the fixes would be definitely using them as DH because now, there are DHs in all of baseball now. There are no more, pitchers hitting in. The National League, they didn't have the DH. The American League did, but the National League didn't. But now that's just standard across baseball. It's a minor rule change, but it's a big one. Just like the ghost runner on second, minor rule change, but it's a big one. I mean, it's definitely one of those things to where I think you're getting back to the essence of baseball. Is it America's game? No, football is, and definitely it's one of those things that I think it still deserves its own shine. My Atlanta Braves won it all. I'm happy about that. So definitely we can get it popping. Now, let's just go ahead and jump back into football free agency. Now you saw, and we talked about this last week with the possibility of Amari and Tank being gone from this Dallas Cowboy football team. But Amari Cooper, man, got traded to the Cleveland Browns for some now-laters and some Tic Tacs and a piece of gum. But I think, I'll take that in this year's draft being heavy as far as the wide receivers and the offensive linemen. Who does this help, man? Who do you think this helps the most? You think this helps Cleveland the most, or you think it helps Dallas the most?
I don't think it helps either one of them. I think that Cleveland is still marginal behind the quarterback position, and they're already dangling Jarvis Landry out there as a free agent. So, to trade bait. So it doesn't make Cleveland any better. And I think Dallas, for them only getting a 5th and 6th round pick for Amari Cooper, doesn't help them. I didn't like the trade, but there's been 4 big names move already. You got Carson Wentz going to the Commanders, Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos, Amari Cooper going to the Cleveland Browns, and my favorite move was Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, you talking about a blockbuster. That was a blockbuster.
Big G getting ahead of himself, man.
Yeah, he's getting ahead of. We're going to get into that, man. Amari Cooper. Go ahead.
No, you got something to say. I wanted to say something about Amari Cooper.
Go ahead. Take.
Well, I think Dallas wins the trade by the sole fact they're getting off a $20 million contract that they didn't want. So they win the trade just based off that alone, But I don't think it helps Cleveland on the field. Because to me, Odell Beckham was better than Amari Cooper. At least a bigger threat, and we seen what Odell did in the playoffs before he got hurt.
Yeah,
so now you putting Amari Cooper in there, whose cap hit is more than what OBJ's cap hit would have been. I think the Browns lose all the way around. Not that Amari Cooper's not a good receiver, but he's not better than OBJ. Now you're paying more money for him, and you still counting on Baker Mayfield to get him the ball.
Right, so Baker's the issue in Cleveland. Until they address Baker Mayfield at the quarterback position, Cleveland is still going to be looking their way up as far as the division, especially if Pittsburgh is able to get a quarterback. Cleveland's hurting. Baker Mayfield is not good.
Cleveland's not hurt. Baker's not good. You're right, but Cleveland's not hurt. They're looking in doing their due diligence on Desean Watson, and they're looking at other options. Some of these other just free agent quarterbacks that might be available. And they could surprise everybody with the 13th pick and draft the quarterback.
They sure could. Man. They sure could. And I have to amen Tay's statement. And I'm gonna go in a little deeper. Amari, we lost $19 million, $20 million basically on the cap. That's what it saved us. But we were gonna get this. We were gonna drop Amari Cooper. We were just gonna drop him, right? And we would have got nothing for that. So the Cowboys would have got nothing for that. So being that we got a 5th round pick this year, the 6th round pick, which is good. And we actually swapped that 6th round pick. So that 6th round pick, we took Cleveland space, so we moved up. It's good. The good thing about this is we got something for him, right? When we were going to get nothing for him. And I think that move is going to actually help in the signing of 2 players. You're going to be able to restructure Tank's contract. Tank, because there's news out of, Cowboy land out of Dallas right now.
Who is Tank? I don't know y'all nickname.
Oh, D-Law, DeMarcus.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay.
So, right now, we would have to pay him $30 million, and he's not worth $30 million every year for the next 2 years. That's $60 million. No. So we're restructuring his deal, right? And it gave us the money in the cap room to do that. And right now, Michael Gallup's contract is being restructured. He's going to be a Cowboy. So I think, it's one of them things that it worked well for the Cowboys. I don't know how well it's going to work out for the Browns. And then here's the other thing. Amari Cooper may be a great pass. He may run great routes, but he disappears. That was the mark on him before he came to the Cowboys. That's the mark of him right now. He disappears during big games. I mean, why keep if there's no reason you could pay him? You could definitely pay Amari Cooper if he was worth that money, but he's not worth it. He's not worth it.
So my question to you, Mod, is this, and this is as far as the Dallas Cowboy goes. When are you going to stop making excuses for Dak and his marginal play as well? Because now you done got rid of Amari Cooper. You're signing Gallup back. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got Wilson as a wide receiver. When are you going to stop making excuses for Dak Prescott?
Shots fired.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Listen, man, the gist of the matter is when it comes down to that, G, I hear what you're saying. This is his second season back after injury. It's on him. The pressure's on him, and the pressure is on the offensive coordinator. Pressure's on him and the OC. It's on him and Kellen Moore. I don't believe in Kellen Moore at all. I don't believe in Kellen Moore. I just don't. I don't believe him. All my faith in him is gone. We're gonna have to see Dak come of age this year. If he doesn't come of age this year, Sean, I mean, hey, I can't defend him anymore. Right. I can't defend him anymore. You're absolutely right. This season is all about Dak and what Dak's gonna do.
And the reason I bring that up is because if you go back and look at the comments about what Amari Cooper said about the Dallas Cowboys and some of the things he said about Dak Prescott and him leaving Dallas and now going to Cleveland, you obviously see that there was some issues between Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott. So the point,
I don't know about it. What you talking about?
Oh yeah, there's issues. There's issues because the bottom line is
I ain't even heard about it. Not Cowboys.
Amari Cooper said that some of the issues was Dak and his selfishness on the field and his unwilling to be able to stretch the field by him throwing the ball down the field to Amari Cooper. Amari said that there was multiple plays that CeeDee Lamb and Wilson was running free, and Dak would check down and throw it to the tight end. This is stuff that came out of his mouth.
Amari Cooper made some noise about not getting the ball enough in the regular season.
He did.
Yeah. So it sounded like to me he was disgruntled. I've seen Dak throw the ball down the field, especially in the middle of the field, down the field. So I mean, I don't know how legitimate that is. Sound like a disgruntled player to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't read the comments.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we can get more out of somebody like a Juju coming over and from Pittsburgh to being a part of that Dallas organization. To me, it just I mean,
y'all can have him. Y'all can have him. y'all, we ain't paying Tate. You better let him know we ain't paying Juju all that money. Y'all can have him. Heck no.
The market gonna let Juju know he ain't getting more than $10 million, man.
Yeah, he's not getting more than $10 million.
That's generous. That's generous.
Polar Knight said, "Sweet Jesus, it's the perfect evolution of beards."
Who said that?
Polar Knight said it's the perfect evolution of beards. Wow.
Yeah, man. I got my healthy glow of mine.
Wow. Yeah, but no, so I think, but Juju, honestly, you're going to get more production out of him because Amari can say what he want to say. During the big games, he didn't show up. That was his representation from the Raiders. When he left the Raiders, he just didn't show up in big games.
You know what you're gonna get out of Juju? You're gonna get maximum effort all the time, and you're gonna get some blocking that you've never had from the receiver position.
Yeah,
that's gonna open up some stuff for Zeke and Pollard.
Yeah,
hey,
but I ain't giving him $14 million. I promise you that much.
Oh, you won't get $14 million. We just told you he ain't getting a nickel over $10 million.
The market's not gonna let that happen. The market is not gonna let that happen at all. I mean, you got to think about it. Look how deep, and you've been talking. I mean, just drinking the Kool-Aid on this receiver crop that's coming out in this draft. It's not worth it to pay a receiver that much bread.
Oh, I agree, but you still got foolish NFL owners and GMs out there, man. that will say, I would rather give the money to somebody that I know I'm going to get the production on the field, which I don't see it. I mean, he's a good stealer. He was a good stealer. But like you said, Tate, I 100% agree with you. 10 million, anything more than that, it's a total waste for Juju Smith-Schuster.
You got to look. He came back to Pittsburgh last year for $8 million. He got injured. He only played. He came back for the one playoff game. He probably played about 3 or 4 games early in the season. Yeah. So he didn't even get to prove himself. So wherever he go, he on another prove-it contract.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
He's probably going to get a one-year deal. And
$9 million.
Yep, he's going to have to prove it, buddy. It is what it is. So the next trade Big G spoke about already, man, this one is a big blockbuster. This may be the biggest trade that we've ever seen in our lives. I might agree with Colin Cowherd when he said it. The biggest trades that I can remember. Tate said something that was really good. He said, Joe Montana, when he left as a free agent. Peyton Manning, when he left as a free agent. We haven't seen somebody like Russell Wilson be traded at all in football, and not in my life. I don't remember anything that's close to it except Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker may be the dumbest, but the best way. It worked out well for us. But Herschel Walker may be the biggest name that I've ever seen be traded to a team in their prime. You know what I mean?
I got one modern Tate. When the New Orleans Saints traded their whole draft for Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
That's
the whole draft. The whole draft. Seven picks. 7 picks for Ricky. That was bananas, But yeah, it's up there.
That's their draft. That's not a current player. Like that, you know what I mean? That wasn't a current player. So let's talk about this Russell.
Ricky Williams was a current player, but I agree with you because we're talking about the quarterback position. That's the marquee position. That's the most important position in sports, and we've never seen a quarterback as good as Russell Wilson in his prime be traded.
Yeah, agreed.
And you see the prime years, Russell Wilson, man. So how do you think this is going to help? Let's talk about it. How do you think it's going to help Denver, Tate?
Man, it puts Denver right in the mix for that. Man, that AFC West is going to be the toughest division in football, man. You got to look at it like you got a young Justin Herbert, who's a monster. We know about Patrick Mahomes already, top 1, 2 quarterback in the NFL. And Russell Wilson's top 5 going to Denver, who has weapons, who has Jerry Jeudy, who has what's the big receiver's name, Big G?
Cotton. His last name's Cotton.
I ain't talking about Cotton, man. They had some dude they didn't have for about 2 years.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
You got 2 big weapons down there. 2 big
Sutton.
Yeah,
you said Cotton. Okay, Sutton. And you got the running back, Javonte Williams. He had a good rookie season last year. And you still got a good Albert O, a good tight end, even though they traded Fant. And that defense is going to be stingy. So Denver going to be right there in the mix, man. I mean, I'm taking the bet, I think, for Russell Wilson for MVP with the odds I'm getting right now, man. He could definitely be an MVP candidate next year.
Wow. And G, talk to me about that. How do you feel about and I totally agree about this, Tate, though. That division, man, that's the best division in football. I mean, hands down, quarterback, because Denver wasn't a bad team last year. I mean, they just didn't have quarterback play. But talk to me, G. How you feel about this trade? I mean, how you feel about it? Talk to me about it.
For the short term, of course, Denver won. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You get a quality player like Russell Wilson to come in and man your quarterback, which what they've been saying forever, they're only a quarterback away from actually being in contention. But in the long haul, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, Noah Fant, Harris, the defensive tackle, the backup quarterback, and a 5th. And all you got back was Russie and a 4th. Woo!
Russell Wilson's a franchise quarterback that's 33 years old. He got at least another 6-7 years left. Good years.
2 firsts, 2 seconds. Pro Bowler Noah Fant, good defensive tackle Harris. Garbage sort of Drew Lock backup quarterback. That's a lot. 2 firsts and 2 seconds can turn into another franchise quarterback. Heck, if they wanted it, they're in the sweepstakes for Desean Watson. They could trade all of that and get Watson and come right back in. And then now you got Desean Watson, Noah Fant, Chris Carson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and let's go. You see what I'm saying? So that draft capital is dangerous.
I definitely heard rumors about Seattle though, getting off of my God,
DJ Metcalf,
not DJ Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They already dropped Bobby Wagner, but getting off Tyler Lockett, they were aggressively trying to get off Tyler Lockett too. I could see that, man. Tyler Lockett is definitely a Russell Wilson guy, man. With Russell in the game, he always ate. He always ate because that was one of Russell's favorite targets. But I mean, now I can't see it. His future's kind of slim down there, man. And I could really.
I look at it another way, Big G. I look at it like Seattle don't have no direction right now, man.
Correct.
I think the game has passed Pete Carroll by. He's an old school Woody Hayes, 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of coach. He likes to pound the ball.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let Russ cook. We've been talking about for years, let Russ cook. He wouldn't do it. The game now is an offensive game. And as a coach, you at the very least, if you're a defensive coach, got to turn the offensive side of the ball over to your coordinator. And I don't know that Pete Carroll has been able to prove that he's willing to do that.
Right. But it's also a good thing moving forward for if they do move off of Pete Carroll. Because, hey, I mean, if I'm an NFL coach and I still have those pieces of Chris Carson, Noah Fant, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and I got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th plus my own picks, that's a nice place to go.
That's all Seattle doing is replenishing. They didn't trade away so many of their first-round picks the past few years for Jamal Adams, for somebody else. The tackle. Was it Dwayne Brown?
Yeah.
From Houston. I mean, so they're trading. They're replenishing. They're not really, And then Desean Watson, he want to have a good coach, a good defense, and a good O-line. I don't know that Seattle has 2 of those 3.
No, they don't.
I know that they don't have 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
Desean Watson, to me, is better off, and we're going to talk about that some more, but I think he's better off at a place like Pittsburgh where, Brian Flores is a guy, definitely he's going to have a head coach that he loves and would support him and would kind of isolate him and let him get back to just playing football, man. So definitely we had Carson Wentz move too. I mean, we can just say 2 words about this. RIP for any team that he quarterbacks. Definitely we don't really have to cover it. I mean, it happened. So I guess we need to mention it. How you feel about that, Tate?
Man, I mean, we talk bad about Carson Wentz because we see some of the lowlights, and he lost that game last year against Jacksonville, the last game of the year. They would have got the Colts in the playoffs. They ended up getting the Steelers in the playoffs, so good for that loss. But Carson Wentz threw 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and had a quarterback rating excuse me, of above 93. Not bad. I mean, so he has a winning record against the NFC East. We remember a few years ago, again, when Philly, he didn't have no receivers. He threw for the only quarterback history to throw for 4,000 yards and not have a 500-yard wide receiver. So, he was throwing to Greg Ward and Fulgham and his tight ends, and Goddard, and he beat the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, so Carson Wentz looked bad 2 years ago in Philly when Jalen Hurts took his position, but I think it's an upgrade over Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
And if he can come in and play some good football, I mean, the Commanders got good pieces everywhere else and a good head coach. So that NFC East is going to be a lot more competitive next year with Carson Wentz coming back, know the division, with Philly having 3 first-round picks, and the Giants getting a new coach.
Yeah, it's a lot more competitive, just to say the least. Definitely. So we have Desean Watson, man. Wow. This saga has went on for forever, man. I mean, I remember talking about it last summer, and just us being able to speculate if he was even going to play football again. And now, to see his name cleared, no legal charges filed against him, and him back to looking to play football. First and foremost, how effective do you think he's going to be after all this time away from football? Let's deal with the on the field thing. Do we think Desean Watson is still Desean Watson at all?
Without a shadow of a doubt. He just got to get the rust off, and that's just a matter of him getting with a team and throwing the football around. That kid is still a baby. I mean, what is he, 26, 27 years old? And he's got a cannon, and his on-the-field play speaks for itself.
Okay.
It's just a matter of what franchise he goes to.
Yeah, so what about you, Tate? Do you believe, honestly, do you think that he's still Desean Watson?
Yeah, man, I don't have any question. I mean, he's played in big games. He's won with a bad team in Houston. He took Clemson to a couple of national championship games. He won against a tough Alabama team. I mean, I think it's just he's been working out down in Atlanta all this time with his quarterback trainer. So I think when he gets with the team and gets in OTAs and then training camp, by the time the season starts, he'll really be ready. Hopefully he doesn't face a suspension from the NFL, because he still could get 4 to 6 games from the NFL for the conduct policy. But I think training camp OTAs is gonna have him ready if he's not ready right now.
Yeah, I honestly think that justice prevailed. I think definitely he is going to be back on the field. I think he'll be hungrier to prove that he could play in the NFL and play in this league. And especially once he gets away from Houston, I think he wants to stick it to Houston by having a tremendous year. So I can definitely see him coming back and getting himself acclimated and playing some really good football. So the other piece about this whole thing is, man, I would say this, and I have to say, and I spoke to Tate and I spoke to G off camera about this. Houston Texans, when they signed Desean Watson and they decided to trade away his favorite target, one of the best receivers in the league, they decided to let some key free agents go with J.J. Watt and another offensive lineman, and then not putting any help around him at all, basically made him a crash test dummy. And to me, I can understand him wanting to trade. Now, the thing that seems a little suspect is when all the trade rumors came out, at that point, they started saying, hey, these things are happening. So it became a little sketchy. And, my heart goes out to the victims in this whole thing, not saying that.
It's not victims. They're accusers as it stands right now.
Accusers.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to the people who were, accused them of what happened. But you don't pay, and Big G says this all the time. You don't pay nobody. You don't back up the Brinks truck and not have vetted that person 110%.
Right.
Houston Texans knew what was going on. So if there was something going on, they still chose to sign him. And until that, the whole thing, my point is, you chose to sign him knowing everything that was going on. And if he had just been quiet and played football, none of this would have ever came out. That's how I feel about it. I just, talk to me about this, man. Make this make sense, G. Make this make sense.
Well, first of all, he's past his contract, right? He's actually on his second one. And I saw where through 2026, Desean Watson has some of the biggest cap hits in the NFL. 1 year he'll be like the third highest cap hit, another year the fourth highest, the next year the third, and I think the last one like the fourth or the fifth. So like you said, you don't back the Brinks truck up and pay a guy like that unless you know actually what you're getting into. But the issue is that I think this is on Desean because he made some bad choices and poor choices. Even though it's accused and all whatever else. You don't do that stuff when you got that going on. You got money to do whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own home and around whoever you want to do. However, I just think that Desean now has definitely separated itself from Houston. And I think moving forward that if he gets with a team and an organization that gives him a chance to have his talent shine, that'll be more the focus than all this off the field scandal stuff that's going on with him.
What's that stuff? What's that stuff?
Well, there's sexual allegations everywhere about him doing all kind of stuff that's just, and I mean, if you really want to go, you can go and read it because the dispositions from the court.
I've read it.
Right. The dispositions from the court are out there, so you can read it on your own. And see
how old were you when you got married, Big G?
25.
Okay, so right up until 25, I remember, Big G, me and you, we done some stuff.
Yeah, but,
so I'm not condoning any of the allegations if they're true, but I'm just saying to be 23, 24, 25, you know how it is. You do a lot of foolish stuff you're not going to do at age 40, 47, 48.
I agree, but however, at 23, 24, 25 didn't have 40, 50, and $60 million.
Point proven. Now there is your point. That you see, let me tell you something. A lot of people would say, and Tate, you'll understand because I'm actually on your side of the fence on this one. A lot of people will say what they won't do until they have access. It's easy to say what you won't do without the access to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? And this man, you said it, G, he was 24, 25 with millions of dollars, right? And hell and destruction are never satisfied. So, hey, man, the regular just wouldn't do. I mean, and literally, he's wrong. He's wrong. Like we said earlier, you're wrong. You're wrong knowing the position that you're in and knowing the eyeballs that are on you. You're not above the law. You know what I'm saying? None of that makes you above the law.
I don't know him as a man or his character as a man. I don't know that. But I do know that the NFL spends astronomical amounts of money, time, effort, and energy to vet kids. So I'm saying if they rolled the truck up, and which they did, and they paid him big grip, right? Desean, you got to be smart enough that if you're still going to make those type of decisions and participate in those types of activities, man, do that in the privacy of your own home, man. Or do it where nobody else can pay attention to what you're actually doing, man. You got to be better than that.
Where's your team? And Tom, thank you for watching. One of our watchers, faithful watchers, man. Thomas said allegations are allegations. You're absolutely right. Allegations are allegations. They're just that until they're proven, right? But the gist of the matter is, where's your team? Where's your team? I'm not talking about your football team. I'm talking about the people that you have around you. You're supposed to have a peer group around you that are not yes men, that'll tell you, hey man, you're messing up. You're messing up, man. You need to get yourself together. The one thing I could say about LeBron James, man, is he has that peer group and that group of individuals that are around and that circle and insulate him. So, I mean, you've never really heard anything negative about LeBron at all. I mean, search your mind. What have you heard negative about LeBron James?
Nothing ever.
Nothing. And not
he would go to Atlantic City and gamble the night before playoff games. Oh, my bad. That's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He was sitting around playing cards, spades, talk, whatever kind of else, and he'd get up all day and play golf.
Here's my point, though. He has a group of people around him that won't allow him to get caught up in those things. And I think that when we're talking about the millions of dollars that the NFL spends on vetting people, I think they kind of need to spend those millions of dollars on kind of giving people classes on social acting, on how they should be socially. And especially now with social media. Social media is a big part of what we do now, every day, all day.
Can I share some breaking news real quick?
Yeah, I just seen it.
The GOAT coming back.
Yeah, Tom Brady comes out of retirement. Yes, he just officially announced it. He is out of retirement. Official. He's coming back for another run.
Wow.
And and that's the killer part. He can go where he wants.
No, it says he's coming back to Tampa.
Tampa Bay.
Coming back to Tampa. Okay.
So that takes Tampa out the quarterback market.
Right.
Quarterback market for real.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question though. Are they relevant? Is Tampa Bay still relevant? Do you think? Because they're going to
have their whole team. They have their whole team.
They got Godwin back, he's still rehabbing. So they franchise tagged him, right?
Yeah, they franchise tagged him. They got what's his name?
Mike Evans. Yeah.
With Brady coming back, Gronk gonna come back.
Yeah, and they still got OJ Howard. They still got Tyler Johnson.
I think OJ Howard a free agent.
Yeah, I think they
got Cameron Brate. They did lose 2 offensive linemen. Well, they can still pay Jensen the center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he'll probably take a pay cut to play with. Right, he'll probably take a pay cut to. Yeah, he'll take a pay cut to come back.
Well,
it's official.
If it's one thing that I would know that Tom Brady's going to do, if it's one thing I know about Tom Brady, he ain't come back unless somebody can protect him. I know that for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, there must be a plan in place for to replace the offensive lineman that they have. But like I said, this draft, and we've been saying it, this draft is so deep in those positions that you could find somebody out here very serviceable.
Oh, they only lost 2 or 5, and the one is a free agent, Jensen. They can bring him back by paying him.
Yeah.
And then just 2 years ago, when Brady first came, they drafted Tristan Wirth out of Iowa. And he been one of the top 5 offensive linemen in the league since he's been in the league. So they could draft another rookie and plug that one spot and still be ready to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they still got a nice defense. They got a lot of pieces on that defense.
Yeah. So, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose 1 or 2 pieces of that secondary though.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Ma, also breaking news for you. It's official. Michael Gallup officially signs with the Dallas Cowboys. $62.5 million over 5 years. So they got it for $12 million. They got it for $12 million a year. It's official. It just went down.
All right. It's about right. I think we're being priced out of the Cedric Wilson thing. But I think we're gonna have to, get another wide receiver in the draft. Cedric Wilson, we want him back, but I don't think he's gonna settle for making $3 to $4 million a year. I think he's literally gonna go for 8 to 10. So,
hey, before we get off the NFL, man, we got to talk about that Khalil Mack, man, because I'm telling y'all, that might be the biggest one of them all.
So
him and Bosa. Woo.
Yes. So that's official. That deal is official.
It's official. Khalil Mack is a Los Angeles Charger. It's official. Matter of fact, they traded him for 3rd and 4th round picks. They didn't have to get up off of a 1st or a 2nd to get him.
Wow.
They got him for 3rd and 4th rounders.
They picked up that $18 million cap hit though.
Yeah, they do pick up the hit.
They did that, and I think it's a great trade, and it looks great on paper. Him opposite Joey Bosa. But Khalil Mack been trending down for the past couple years.
Right.
I ain't saying he don't still got nothing left in the tank. I'm just saying he's been trending down for the past couple years.
Right. But I think that had a lot to do with him going to a team where they was solely dependent on him. I mean, they had that kid that played defensive tackle that was pretty good. But man, they expected him to make noise over there in Chicago, man. So I like Khalil paired up with Bosa.
His first couple of years there, Chicago had a top 5 defense.
Yeah. It's about that. And then, when you're not putting people around people, I mean, it's just you're gonna miss certain things. It is what it is.
So let me ask y'all: do they have the best defensive end combination in the league? Bosa and Khalil Mack. Can you name 2 that's better?
Not by name, but you gotta show me production.
Yeah,
I agree with that take. Not by name at all. But production. Let's see how they play together. Yeah, let's see if they complement each other.
You got JPP and Shaquille Barrett down in Tampa that was causing some ruckus.
Yeah,
have it. But that's
prior to the injury, J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones over in Arizona was causing problems.
Mm-hmm.
They was causing problems. But the kid and the other Bosa boy and the kid from Oregon, what's his name? Armstead. He played defensive end or something like that. They had some production in San Fran.
Yeah.
But Mac and Bosa, woo. And Tate, you were right. They got that strictly for Rusty and Pat Mahomes. That's why they got that. They got that to stop them.
In that division, you better have somebody get after the passer.
You're gonna have to.
The Raiders just paid Max Crosby $95 million because he had such a good year rushing the passer for the Raiders. So in that division, you better have somebody that can rush the passer.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you that the last thing that I'm going to say about this, man, and about all of the moving and the musical chairs that we're getting in football. Get ready. I think the biggest dominoes hadn't fell yet. You know what I'm saying? I think the biggest dominoes hadn't fell for this season. I literally believe that after the draft, you're going to see teams that are unrecognizable. And, you know, on paper, they're going to look like world breakers. Now we're just going to see about how they gel. And with Tom Brady coming back, man, it's
going to turn up. It's going to turn up at midnight, bro. At midnight, it's going to turn up. Like, you better believe the next 48 hours is going to be off the hook.
You said that earlier, but I don't think free agency start till Tuesday.
March 14th. March 14th official date. Official date, March 14th.
That's the legal tampering period.
Right, no, March 14th. Yeah, March 14th, you can sign them. You can sign them March 14th.
I think March 16th free agency start, though. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. I think it's March 14th.
Let's fact check it.
Fact check it. I think it's March 14th.
While we're fact checking, man, what is up with all these 50-point games in the NBA, bruh? Y'all talk to me, man. This is you know, people are hitting 50 like they pass. I don't know what's going on. KD had a 53-point game and was talking cash all while he was doing it, man. Talk to me about that game, G. Talk to me.
KD's one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history. What you said, Tate?
March 16th, teams are allowed to negotiate with agents of upcoming unrestricted free agents during the 2-day negotiating period, a window prior to the start of free agency, which that starts the 14th.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Official free agency is the 16th. Once again, I'm just right. That's all I'm saying. Most of the time, more than not, I'm usually right.
Hey, so but going back to KD, he's one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. I mean, he really flat out. I mean, I think in any era, KD's gonna give you buckets, you know. But I also will say this, man, and I'm starting to see this about the NBA season. There are some teams that are like starting to turn it up defensively and all whatever else, and there's some teams that's looking like, man, what happened to that team at the beginning of the year? And I think the grind of the NBA season is starting to like show. But that's still no excuse for a dude getting 5-0 on you, man. He's out there getting buckets.
Quit talking about my Cleveland Cavaliers, man.
Hey, I didn't say that's you. That's you. With the assumption I'm talking about Cleveland.
I'm admitting it. They've been trending down since after the All-Star break. But you know, Jared Allen is hurt. Karis LeVert haven't played since the All-Star break. They made the big trade for. I mean, you know, but Cleveland's been playing with house money anyway, but they went from like the 3rd, 4th seed, they're the 6th seed now. They're trying to hang on, not to get in that play-in.
Yeah. I mean, who I was referring to was the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors is
let's talk about those two teams. Let's talk about those two teams. First of all, Golden State is not an old team. They're not. Cleveland is not an old team. And when you talk about the grind of the NBA season, these youngsters don't know nothing about 80-game season.
Yeah, 82 games a long time, bro.
I mean, for real, they normally throughout their whole career played 30, 32 games, you know, and pretty much that was it, you know. And now you're playing 50 more games on top of that before you get to the playoff. So a lot of people in this whole thing, your mind has to wrap around playing that many games. You know what I mean? And I could see where you're gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? And then they can get back in the veterans that they do have around them. They're gonna get them back in the mode. So Cleveland, they should be all right, man. They should be all right. They should definitely be all right.
Yeah.
And we got AB Sports Cards. You see, Brady just said he's unretiring. Yeah, we spoke earlier, man. Definitely, definitely spoke about that earlier, man. Thanks for hitting us up.
Hey, Mom, when you say KD with the 5-3, what about Bron, man, with the 2 doubles, the two 5-0s?
I'm about to talk about that. LeBron, Tate said something earlier. He was like, he's the oldest player to do it 2 home games back to back, right?
Right.
He scored 50 and 2 back-to-back home games. The other ones was Kobe, with who you'd expect, Kobe, Jordan, and Wilt, but they were not even 30 when they did it.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah. So the gist of the matter is that here's my thought about that, man. Look, what LeBron did was off the chain. It's great, right? I mean, you can't really say anything, but man, I just don't see the Lakers beating nobody. For real, like if they got to get in a 7-game series, I don't see them beat nobody, man. I mean,
hey, he hit Bron with a backhanded one, dog. He was like, "Yeah, LeBron, we love you." Pow! He hit him with a backhanded one, man.
I feel bad for Bron, man, because he's accomplishing all his solo goals, but man, the team still.
I'll say this: I agree with you right now. I probably agree with you overall, but AD is on track to come back before the playoffs. Just saying, I'm not saying they're gonna beat nobody, but if you got Bron and AD and they on, you can beat anybody. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they can. And as everybody's healthy in the 7th game, they could give them business.
If AD ain't playing like Mr. Glass, I don't know. I don't know. You got 7 games. You got 7 games, right? And if it goes 7 games, that means you're gonna have to get 4 good ones out of AD. And I'm talking about 4 high caliber quality ones out of him. And then you're gonna have to get another 4 that next. I just can't see it happening. I can't. I mean, and Russie is gonna happen to you at some point. You know what I'm saying? Russie's gonna get in and call his own number and start throwing them up. You know what I'm saying? That's what Russie do.
Don't call him no name, because he's gonna come for you.
I'm just saying that's what Russie do. I ain't calling Russie out his name. I say he calls his own number, just like, Dave Chappelle was like, Kobe. Yeah, that's what he do. He's like, Russie. He just say Russie. He say his own name. That's what he does.
If LA can get 1 playoff series, I think it's an accomplishment based on what happened in the season. If they can get 1, I don't see them getting a playoff series, even with everybody all strapped up, because they're probably going to get a 7 or 8 seed after they play a play-in. So I don't see it happening.
If they get 1 series, then they can beat anybody. If they get 1, they're going to have beaten Phoenix and Golden State.
No, they're going to probably Phoenix or Memphis, who's going to get the 1 or 2 seed, and I don't see them beating neither one of them.
I look for Golden State to hold on over Memphis, but Memphis could sneak into number 2. Ain't nobody catching Phoenix for number 1.
No, nobody.
Yeah, but like you said, if they get 1 series, which means they beat one of them top 2 seeds, then they can be anybody left. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It could. That's a big could. You know what I mean? That's a big could.
Huge could. Man,
I'm telling you, like,
ain't no way in the world. If they draw Phoenix as the AC 4-1, 4-1, it's over, man. Get them out of here.
It's funny you said they play Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, if they draw Phoenix, it's over. Get them out of here, man.
I'm just saying,
I'm sorry, but what about Brooklyn beat down in Philly the other night?
They beat the break. Listen, not only did they beat them, they beat the break shoes off of them. They made all the people that was talking all that mess about Ben Simmons and teasing them. It's like Kyrie and KD looked up in the stands like, okay, I see y'all serious. I'm going to show y'all. We about to show y'all what we're going to do to protect our boy. Because guess what? They probably going to be back there.
Yeah, it's definitely probably going to be a playoff collision course between them teams. And I mean, I look for KD and Kyrie to do. They didn't do nothing unexpected, but I guess what shouldn't have been unexpected was James Harden choking like James Harden always doing big games. Man.
Why does he do that, y'all? Every time.
I don't get it. I be like, James, what is your beard too tight? Is your beard on too tight? Talk to me, man. What's going on? Like, y'all, the nights prior, y'all acting up, y'all just siding, and y'all run into another one. Listen, I just need to see what he's going to do in the playoffs. At this point, somebody's trend has to break. Somebody's trend has to break. KD and Kyrie going to have to win some, or you're going to have to see Embiid and Harden win one. I mean, somebody's going to have to break. Somebody. We don't know who it is. But somebody's losing trend is gonna have to break.
Did you see? It was one game earlier in the week. Might have been last Sunday or one. The Philly won, and James Harden after the game was running the steps of the arena. Working out right after the game. You seen that, Big G?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it for sure.
And then after this beatdown they just took. He going to Lil Baby and Meek Mill concert right after the game, man.
Right.
Like, what are you doing, man? That's not even a good look.
Right. It's because, like Ma said, it's that trend, man. That when they're winning, everything's good. But when you get popped and you taking a thing, James Harden is like super emotional as a player, man. Which a lot of NBA players are. They getting their feelings about what happened and not. But they got spanked by Brooklyn. Like Brooklyn was like, okay, we really gonna show you. And I got more faith in Brooklyn getting healthy and coming in as a 7 or 8 seed and winning the whole dang on thing than I do against the Lakers. Brooklyn, I wouldn't want to play them. There's no freaking way I want to play them.
Nobody should want to play Brooklyn because I mean, obviously you got KD, you got Kyrie. And then you got a host of other good ones. I mean, I can't really just sit up in here and start pointing names because some of them have let me down over the years. But my heart just goes out to LeBron. This is how we got here. My heart goes out to LeBron. You're out here giving them 50. You hanging half 100 on folk. That's for real. We're doing it. We got tape of that. We got videotape of this man at 37 giving these boys buckets. And it ain't enough.
But what it shows you is too,
it ain't enough.
Bron, see, this is the thing about Bron, and I got to say this because a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I'm still going to say it. The issue is that if Bron wanted to, he could do it anytime he wanted to. Anytime he felt like it, Bron could have been selfish and getting between 38 and 50 a night for the last 10 years. Anytime he wants to do it, he could do it. Anytime. But now he's sort of forced to do it because they don't have any help around him. But you just better believe, and that goes to all those people that talk about, well, he can't score like Jordan and all. Man, Bron could have got what he wanted, when he wanted, how he wanted. Bron's thing is he's always going to make the correct basketball play to try to put his team in position to win. But if Bron wants to do it and he became a higher gun, Bron will get a 50 or a double nickel anytime he wants to. And I don't care who they playing. He's getting the buckets.
Wow. There he goes.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think it speaks to LeBron's game that he's a pass first player who's about to be second all time in scoring in the NBA.
Right.
Because he gonna pass Karl Malone. I think he's like less than 200 points away now from Karl Malone.
He got him before the end of the regular season. He got him.
Definitely.
So my thing on that is that I would say this. LeBron's at an age right now where him having to go out and get 40 points a night is not sustainable. It's just not something that he would have to do. I mean, he's only got what do they have, like 6 more games left, 7 more games left?
No, they still like around that 20 range.
Nah, it's like about 14 or 15.
Yeah, they had 24 a week ago. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have that many games left. So, I mean, in order for him to do that and then have to do it all the way when the level you just said this, you got grown behind men in the playoffs and the level goes from here to here. You know what I'm saying? So they're not trying to let you just sit up in here.
The thing is, LeBron scoring these points, that's not the best way for the Lakers to win. LeBron is doing that to keep them in game. We know the LeBron teams play their best when LeBron scoring like 25 to 28 with 8 assists, 8 boards. You know what I mean? LeBron scoring 35 a night isn't conducive to them winning. It just shows, I gotta try and keep my team in the game to even compete.
Right.
Yeah, they got 16 regular season games left. 16.
And that's
I just said 14, 15, Big G. You don't gotta start check me, bro.
my whole thing is like I said, man, it's not sustainable. It's not something that they could and he doesn't have enough around him. And even when AD comes back, man, AD is just, I mean, he's suspect, bro. One day he got the rabbit's foot in his pocket. The next day he over here getting hurt like Glass Joe. I'm like, man, what are you doing, man?
Not Glass Joe from Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Glass Joe from Mike Tyson Punch Out. You know what I'm saying? He over there getting knocked out. Man. Like, come on, AD. But it's one of them things to me, man. And then Russie is gonna happen to this team. Russell Westbrook cannot be on the floor with LeBron. They don't mix. They don't mix. And then when Russell's on the floor by himself, he's gonna happen to the team. I hate to say that Russell is gonna happen to the team, but
I got a question. Is Russell Westbrook the most overhyped player in NBA basketball history?
No, I don't think he's overhyped. I think what happened was 3 or 4 years ago, we was enamored by the triple double, and Russ was hidden by playing in OKC, Oklahoma City. So we saw the highlights, we saw the numbers. Russ is as he's always been, as inefficient as ever. That's Russell Westbrook game. Yeah. You know what I mean? But now he in LA, he on the big stage. There's expectations. You playing with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and you go out there and do that, and it's all on the media and
it's on display, man.
But yeah, there you go.
It's on display. It's right there for everybody to see. And the problem, like I said, you're forgetting Russell played with some great players, and he couldn't coexist with them.
Yeah.
Well, he can't coexist with the legend like LeBron. He can't. And then when you put him out there by himself, he don't have enough. I mean, they just run around. He made layups. You know what I'm saying?
That's why KD left OKC. He couldn't do it no more. That's why Paul George left OKC. He couldn't do it. Harden, like, he's my boy, bring him to Houston, trading for Chris Paul. Harden, like, nah, he got to go. I can't do it either. You know what I mean? Yeah. And LeBron wanted to be the one to prove out of all them great players.
We're one with him.
I can do it. He can win with me, and it ain't working for LeBron either.
It ain't working. LeBron falling out on the seat, like he falling out on the couch, man. I mean, it's sad. Like I said, man, it's sad to see all of that wasted. It literally is, because the man is out here giving you, I mean, we're witnessing history. This man is out here giving you everything that he can give. You know what I'm saying? He's giving you the best that he got.
Russ. You talking about Russ, dude?
No, we're talking about LeBron giving you the best that he got.
Oh, yeah, LeBron is, but Russ give you all he got too. And but like I said, Russ is just inefficient as he's always been. Ain't nothing changed. So don't get mad at Russ for being Russ, and he been being Russ.
Yeah. So last but not least, man, a more serious issue. Before we talk, again about the GOAT tournament that we got going on, but Brittany Griner, man, Brittany Griner is being held. She is being detained and kept from coming home because she's been caught with some contraband here, man, and looks like they're trying to use it for a high-profile hostage. How do you guys feel about this, man? How do you feel about? Because I have a real take, and I'll start it off, man. It's sad to me that Brittany is still out here playing for peanuts, first of all. I mean, this whole situation, I mean, she wasn't making that much money being over there playing, and I understand she had to play. But, man, I mean, I think the female athlete, I understand that it's not the game that the WNBA isn't the game that the NBA is, and there's not these big, humongous contracts. But bro, if we're gonna do NIL for college students and college football, man, let's invent some ways for our female athletes to make some money. I mean, let's invent some ways, like Lisa Leslie, she was on TV and on different programs and different movies and things of that nature. Man, let's do that for them. Let's get them agents. Let's help them out so that they're not out here having to hustle and scrap and do what Brittany did. And then, I mean, the laws are different in different places. So let's go into that. But that's my take on this whole thing. Is she shouldn't have been out here having to scrap, because our female athletes aren't making near the type of money that the male counterparts are making, man. Take what you think about this whole thing with Brittany Griner.
Well, that's why she's in Russia, because when women, even WNBA players go overseas during the offseason to play overseas because they make more money. I mean, I'm reading right now, Brittany Griner, for playing in Russia, was making $1 million to go over there and play. So that's nothing to sneeze at. But the fact is, like you said, she had to go to Russia to try and get it. She got paid $222,000 for playing for the Phoenix Mercury this past year. But it's kind of tough in women's sports. I think women athletes deserve everything that they can get, but just the box office appeal doesn't drive the dollars like the male game does. Therefore, because of that, that's why. Yeah, I agree with Thomas. If you don't watch, they don't get paid. We don't sit up and get ready. Now I watch some women's sports, but I'm looking forward to March Madness for the men. I'll look at a little bit of women's game if it's on. I just catch it and it's a good matchup on. But we don't invest the time, energy, and fandom in women's sports like we do men's sports.
Yeah,
agreed. But why not create some type of, like we did with the NIL? Why not create some type of advertising to get them an advertising dollar and to make them faces that people see? You know what I mean?
But the NIL, men's athletic players, sports in colleges are getting more than women. Same thing. So I mean, you can create the NIL, but it's still not going to be the same as it is with male athletics.
I get it. I get it. What you say, G?
I read a great article today written by Jamil Hill, who used to be an ESPN broadcaster, about this whole thing about Brittany Griner, right? The article was outstanding. It's in the Atlantic if anybody wants to use it as a reference point. And what she was saying
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, what she was saying in the Atlantic article is that this is more of a U.S. problem than it is a Russian problem. And you guys were hitting it all out the park with some of the comments, what you were saying as far as money's paid versus a player having to go away and get more money to play in another league just to suffice some of the things that's going on. And the issue is like we're saying, is why would one of our great players, because she was a great college basketball player, she was a great WNBA player, why is she having to go overseas to offset and supplement her income where we could do some things about it right here in the United States of America and not even have to deal with those issues? So that article that Jamila Hill wrote in the Atlantic was just outstanding to me. Do I personally feel that the issue or the problem with this is it's more geopolitical than it is actually a problem? I think that there's, because what's going on in Ukraine and with Russia, they're trying to make examples, because I believe the accusations are actually false. I don't think there's any evidence that you caught her with what they said she had and all whatever else. And it could be just that this young lady turns into like a political prisoner. That's not good,
All she had was some vaping equipment, for vaping cigarettes.
I'm sure she had. I mean, that's common. That's not something that you don't. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I can't believe that. No. I mean, a lot of people vape. I mean, they're doing.
She's facing drug smuggling charges because of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But my and not making light of that, but my whole thing is because I mean the same thing that we were talking and Tom said it earlier, you know, accusations. She got caught with something. We know this. The bigger portion of this to me is not everybody, but people like Brittany Griner, they should have advertisement dollar. They should be in somebody's movie. They should be somewhere where they're not having to go subsidize their income and put their families and themselves at risk in times like this. You know, I mean, I get everybody going overseas to make money. I mean, people do that. Kids do that. You know, a lot of basketball heroes around this way from Austin, Texas, have went overseas and made some money and came back home and started their career. Heck, Ray did it. Ray Jack did it. You know, definitely. It's just one of those things to me. It's just like, man, we got to do a better job of protecting our own, and especially in women's athletics. I understand, Thomas, you said it. You hit it right on the head. Tate said it too. You know, if we don't watch it, they don't get paid. I get it, but create that appetite though. With these advertisement dollars, social media dollars, create the appetite. I mean, she has a big social media account. Why not use it to promote Lysol or Tide or somebody got some money out there somewhere that they could give us something. Procter and Gamble right there in Ohio, they can give us something. Somebody can give us something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's my point. That's my point.
Hey, Tate, I got some breaking news on the Steelers front, man. The Steelers are trying to finalize a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles to have Fletcher Cox come to the Pittsburgh Steelers to play. They're working on the
finalize it.
They're trying to finalize it right now. They're working on the trade for Fletcher Cox to come and join Stephen Tuitt, Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt, Highsmith, Bush, and Mika Fitzpatrick on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That can't be real, man.
Yeah, they're working on it right now. I just read it.
Real. Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, I saw they wanted him last year, but Pittsburgh didn't want to give a third round pick at the trade deadline. But Pittsburgh, I think a couple other teams was teams interested in him, and so maybe we get him. If we do, that's great. Is that a bigger move than trying to get Bobby Wagner?
Yeah, no, Bobby's coming.
But hold it, check this out. Fletcher Cox comes via trade. We can still remember we still got free agent money out there to be able to do what we want to do. Fletcher Cox coming via trade. Don't be mad if we get both of them.
We want Bobby Wagner to put the star.
Could you imagine Bobby Wagner, Fletcher Cox, Stephen Tuitt, Cam Hayward, Mika Fitzpatrick, Edmonds? Oh my God! Would that be our greatest defense ever?
No, it would be the new steel curtain. That would be the new steel curtain. That's what that would be.
That's the plan. Though. We don't know we're going to be on offense yet. We don't know we're going to do quarterback yet. So we got to put a solid defense on the field to compete.
Yeah, that would be stupid. Who would want to play y'all? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to play. I mean, who would want to play y'all? That would be an awesome defense. Fletcher Cox, though, like who's running against y'all? That would be the question that I would ask.
Everybody last year. That's why we talking to Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, you got Fletcher Cox and Hayward on the deep man. Who's running against?
And Stephen Tuitt. Don't forget about Stephen Tuitt. It's a monster too now.
Nobody's running, and then Lord forbid they want to start passing. Here comes that monster off the edge, T.J. Watt. Man, oh God, who's running? Man. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. Listen, if that happens, wow. That's all I can say. Wow. Know our listeners, make sure you chime in and leave us with any questions that you guys have, and we will definitely answer them for you. We have been recently we put this NCAA greatest of all time tournament down. Definitely the teams that we have placed in here. We did our research. I said it again. And, basically what we did is if you're a Hall of Fame player, you got a 90 rating on the game. If you were Hall of Fame in college, Hall of Fame in the NBA, you definitely got that an extra 5-point boost for that. So we didn't haphazardly or just randomly put these teams together. It took us about 2 weeks to do so. And so, these games are being played out, and they're on our YouTube channel. You would definitely see them on Twitch. We have a large audience on Twitch. I mean, the other night, it was probably around 7 to 10 people who were actually watching, and some great questions. People were asking those type of questions. How did we decide who was going to make certain teams? And so far, man, I mean, it's been some surprises in the bracket. And me and Big G both were like, we just can't believe it. North Carolina almost lost, and that was crazy. They almost lost to Memphis State with Penny and D-Rose. Okay, so let me ask this question. I've been waiting to ask Tate this question. Dude, D-Rose doesn't get hurt. Are we talking about D-Rose being in the top 75?
Yeah, the trajectory he was on, without a doubt. He was rookie of the year, what, at like 19 or 20?
Yes.
When
MVP.
Yeah.
So what about Penny? Penny not being hurt. If Penny didn't get hurt, you think Penny?
There are some dudes that's been injury ruined, just not ruined, but halted their career from being what they could have been. D-Rose, Penny, G Hill, them three right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got other guys that have been hurt. Brandon Roy was hurt, and Brandon Roy wasn't going to be a top 75 player. I go way back. Clark Kellogg was hurt. He wasn't going to be a top 75 player.
Maybe Greg Oden? Do you think Greg Oden maybe had a shot?
Greg Oden had the potential. I mean, and you can look at those guys like Greg Oden, Sam Bowie.
Yeah.
Sam Bowie, I mean, Greg Oden was what, number 1 overall when they had a KD. Sam Bowie when he had a Michael Jordan. So the thought at the time of those guys was enough to be picked ahead of 2 of the all-time greats.
Yeah. Definitely. So, and I was talking to Big G about Lorenzen Wright, who had a big game, and I was telling him how Lorenzen Wright in college was a monster. He was definitely a monster.
His wife killed him.
Yeah,
he was all right, man, but he wasn't he was all right. Even when he got to the league, he was all right. He wasn't like no killer like that. Decent ball player at Memphis, decent. But nah. The boy who was a dog at Memphis, and there should have been a dog in the NBA, and some stuff happened with drugs and injuries, was that dang on Keith Lee. And that's why I told you, Keith Lee was a monster at Memphis, man.
Everybody don't remember Keith Lee, Big G.
Oh, but we know about Keith Lee, don't we, Tate? That dang on Keith Lee was a dog. I don't know.
He was cold. Hey, Keith Lee was cold. I was telling him, I was another one of the Memphis players, Tyreek Evans and my guy, with the goggles.
Elliot Perry.
Elliot Perry.
Yeah.
Elliot Perry, man. They was so that Memphis team was nice, and they almost beat that North Carolina team, which is freaking loaded. I mean, I don't know what you could do with that. That team is just ridiculous. And then Alabama beat the Kansas team, and that to me was a shock. That's one of the biggest shocks right now in our tournament.
Alabama, they had Antonio McDyess. Who else they had?
They had some killers, Tate.
Antonio McDyess,
Latrell Sprewell.
Yep.
Robert Horry.
He was go to Alabama. That's right.
Yeah, they got some hitters down there, man.
Colin Sexton right now. Colin Sexton. You know what I'm saying? So they had a squad. They're like 7 deep, but they pop Kansas, and I mean it's crazy. Mario Chalmers, Jock Vaughn, Kirk Heinrich. You even had on that team, you had Will Chamberlain. You know what I'm saying? And Paul Pierce, and they just got out of there. I mean, it's just perfect mix, perfect storm, and they got popped. They got out of here. And last night, definitely we had another upset. DePaul pops Indiana. Got them out of there.
I told you that would happen on an all-time team. Look, I told you one of the best college basketball players in history was, you need to go back and look at Mark Aguirre. Even though they didn't win the chip, because the Hoosiers won the chip that year. But Mark Aguirre was balling out at Marquette, man. And they had Terry Cummings on the same team.
DePaul. So you had Terry Cummings. But the other player that I think shocked the world last night with Dallas Comedies. And I don't know if you remember
He was a baller.
Dallas Comedies was a ball. A ball. We know Tate remembers Dallas Comedies.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I used to like DePaul back in the mid late 80s with Rod Strickland and all them guys.
Rod is cold, silky smooth. He was a bucket. Rod Strickland was a bucket. People forget Rod Strickland was a bucket. He was definitely a bucket.
Rod Strickland is what you see right now with Kyrie Irving. Same player.
I agree.
Same player. Same exact. Rod was too far ahead of his time. Too far ahead of his time.
Far as getting to the cup and finishing at the rim as a small guard, but Kyrie's handles a little tighter, you know, and his jumper, but they weren't shooting jumpers like that back then.
Right.
They weren't. Last game was Syracuse and Oklahoma State, and I said, G's boy put up 30, but in a losing effort, Syracuse bench is just way too deep.
Who was G's boy? Big Country?
No, G's boy, Starks, John Starks.
Oh,
I hate John Starks. I still wish all the bad things in the world happened to John Starks and only John Starks. I can't stand John Starks. Don't even bring his name up around me. Get him out of here, man. Get John Starks out of here, man.
26 years ago, man.
I don't care. I don't care if it was yesterday. I can't stand John Starks. I don't have no New York Knicks stuff hanging up in my background right now because I'm still pissed off at the New York Knicks organization for letting John Starks shoot us out of Game 7, which we should have won the chip against the Houston Rockets, man. Pat Riley, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You should have benched that boy, took him out of the game so we had an opportunity to get the victory. Get him out of here, man. Still, you can hear it in my voice. I can't stand John Starks. Get him out.
That's shots fired. Shots fired to the Knicks organization. I think we hit a soft spot with DC, but
go ahead, Mon. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but definitely, this is Tate's favorite team. One of Tate's favorite teams in this whole NCAA tournament. We got GOAT tournament coming is Syracuse. So tonight that'll be the game on the horizon. Syracuse versus DePaul. And North Carolina versus Alabama. Those are two games that you're going to see. And I mean, Syracuse bench is way too deep. Syracuse, they have a chance against North Carolina. I just don't know who's going to beat North Carolina. I just don't. I don't. North Carolina, Kentucky, Duke, UCLA, those rosters from top to bottom is not just their starting five is good. Their whole bench is good. And you got, you know what I'm saying? You have Hall of Famers all the way around. You know, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? So
don't count out the Syracuse Orangemen, the Florida Gators. Don't count them out in the tournament. I'm saying don't count out Syracuse and don't count out the Florida Gators. They got a squad, both of them.
I see you. I hear that. But we're gonna get onto it. So, like I said, throughout the week, the whole real tournament is starting. The real tournament starts next week, right?
No, it starts Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
And I want to touch on that because you know how many Big Ten teams is in it?
How many Big Ten teams made the tourney?
9.
Ooh.
9.
Is that a record? Is that a record?
It might be. Now, 2 of them are in the play-in. Rutgers play Notre Dame in the play-in, and Indiana play Wyoming in the play-in. But 9 total teams make the tournament out of the Big Ten.
Indiana
and Michigan made it. Michigan made it.
Michigan made it as a 11 seed.
How many Big 12 teams is in the final? I mean, in the tournament.
I didn't count it here. Let's count it. Big 12, Texas Tech.
Yep.
Baylor.
Yep.
Baylor's a 1 seed. Texas is a 6 seed. That's 3. Go to the other side.
Kansas should have made it.
Yeah,
let me get to them. Houston not Big 12, right? No, Houston's not Big 12.
No.
Kansas. That's 4. Iowa State.
Yeah.
5.
What did TCU make?
It looks like that's it. No, TCU. Yeah, they made it too. I passed. I didn't know. So 6.
6 big. That's good. Those are the teams that I expected them to make. Because TCU is pretty good. They had all those Texas Tech transfers, and Texas is a pretty deep team. But Baylor, man, Baylor's still a really good team.
A good first round matchup that I'm planning on watching, penciling already, is Iowa versus Richmond. I watched both of them play today. They played. Richmond won the whatever league they in with Davidson.
Southland Conference. Yeah.
They won that, and Iowa beat Purdue in the Big Ten championship. But that Richmond got a good team, man.
Yeah, they do. Richmond Spiders are legit. I watched them play a couple of times.
I have not seen them play this year, so I won't say that. I'm definitely have not had an opportunity to watch any of the off teams play, but definitely all of the big major teams I've got a chance.
I'm gonna tell you a team that you don't want to play, and the 2 teams you don't want to play in the tournament.
Oh, Michigan State Davidson gonna be a good one too. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to play
Davidson.
Yeah.
Ooh,
you don't want to play. Who Chattanooga draw first round? Who Chattanooga draw?
Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say what you got to say about it. I'll let you know.
You don't want to play Chattanooga. You don't want to play Chattanooga.
Illinois.
You don't want to play them. Illinois might be out of here. They might be out of here first round. Chattanooga, you don't want to play them. You don't want to play Va-Tech in the first round. You don't want to play them. And you don't want to play Houston Cougars. Those are the 2 teams I know for sure you don't want to play.
Houston plays UAB. UAB got a lot of firepower. They score a lot of points.
UAB finna take a L. That's what they finna get that L on up out of there. That is a long, athletic, really fast team. I'm gonna tell you something. Houston is I mean, they were ranked in the top 5 for a long time this season.
Yeah, you don't want to play them.
The TCU boys play Seton Hall in the first round.
That's gonna be a good game. I still think
Big G. You say Va-Tech?
Yeah, Va-Tech.
You know Va-Tech play?
They got Texas.
Them Longhorns.
They out of here. They out of here. Va-Tech, you don't want to play. There's 5 teams you don't want to play. You don't want to play Houston. You don't want to play Va-Tech. You don't want to play Chattanooga. You don't want to play Texas A&M. And you don't want to play Richmond. Those are the 5 teams you don't want to play. Not in the first or the second round. You don't want to play.
I'm gonna say this. It depends on what Longhorn team shows up. It depends on what Longhorn team shows up.
You want to put some corner time on Virginia Tech and Texas?
Hey man, I'm still up. I'm still up corner time. So all you would be doing is getting corner time back.
Let's go double or nothing.
You getting your corner time back. All you can do right now, because I'm up 2 corner time victories. You do know this. Right?
You have 1 corner time victory.
2. I bet you twice. I have not got my corner time for you either time.
Big G.
No, once. Go ahead, Tate.
USC and Miami, Florida. Who you got? That's a matchup too.
Oh.
Okay, so the Trojans we talking about.
The Trojans are long, right? But Miami's guard play is really good. So Miami just caught Va-Tech in the tournament, in the ACC tournament, who's probably the hottest team in basketball right now. But Va-Tech's guard, Miami's got some good guards, man. They got some real good guards. But like I said, Va-Tech
right? Gonzaga was a 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
Who's in that side of the bracket with them?
Say it again.
Who's in that side of the bracket with Gonzaga?
Like the 2 seed in that side?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying who's in that bracket with them who can get him trouble. I'm thinking about who's in that bracket.
Duke. Duke, the 2 seed over there. You got.
I'm not too scared of Duke this year.
Well, they should have won the ACC. They did win the ACC regular season.
Yeah, North Carolina popped them, got them on up out of there.
You got Arkansas over there. You got Texas Tech over there. You got Michigan State over there. You got Memphis over there.
Memphis is a team that could get hot too.
Memphis
Hey, I'm gonna tell you a sleeper team, a lightweight sleeper team.
Hold on.
Tennessee Volunteers.
Let me say this. You're right. Tennessee is it, but I gotta say this, man. Memphis gave my guy, what's his name? I hate to refer to him like this. The 1R basketball player. Yeah. They gave him a scholarship. I'm trying to remember his name right now. Oh man,
I can't.
But shout out to Penny for giving him a shot. Shout out to Penny for giving him a shot. He played hard before he got a shot, man.
If Penny can get Amari Payne,
and they a 3 seed.
Who is Tennessee?
Yeah, is that a sleeper team? 3 seed is a sleeper.
But they don't get a lot. They didn't get a lot of regular season respect. Everybody was talking about Kentucky and all. Tennessee is a very good, and Texas A&M too.
They a 3 seed, Big G. If you a 3 seed, that means you damn near top 10 in the country. You at least top 12.
Yeah, you got
see because they won that SEC championship. They won that tournament. They was balling.
They got some respect. Awesome boy over there doing this thing, man. They got some respect. I love it. Well, you guys, man, parting shots, man. Talk to me. We got some parting shots before we get out of here. Big G, give me your parting shot, man.
Man, I got to give a shout out, man. And I've been thinking about this, about how ways to implement this into the show. And I'm going to do this probably every show going forward. I'm going to give a shout out to the HBCUs, man. The HBCUs have from the MEAC and the SWAC, Texas Southern and Norfolk State joined in the men's tournament, and in the women's tournament from the MEAC and the SWAC, Jackson State and them Howard Lady Bison. So moving forward on every show, I'm going to give some type of homage or shout out to the HBCUs, man. Moving forward.
Wow, okay. That's a big shot. Tate?
Man, I gotta just support what Big G is saying, just any way we can support and put positive word out about some of these HBCUs, because they doing it over there too. It's great athletes over there. It's great student athletes over there. Let's say that first.
Absolutely correct.
You know what I mean? Because some of those schools are some of the best educational institutions in the United States, So give it up for that. But my parting shot this week, I really don't have one. Y'all making me think of one on the fly. But I'm going to go ahead and give a Big G burner, just since Big G didn't give his own burner today. I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to say the Los Angeles Lakers take down the Phoenix Suns tonight in tonight's game. That's what I'm going to say, Big G.
I feel you. Good call.
Hey, listen, I got to ask. I seen where Quincy and Lima Sr. won a big game this weekend. Have they played again? Did they lose?
Yeah, they lost. They lost to Cleveland St. Ignatius in the regional finals.
Wow.
74-58.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. They won it. After winning that one on the walk-off 3, they lost after that.
Yeah, they lost in the regional final 8. They lost to Cleveland St. Ignatius in the regional finals.
Hey, man,
74-58.
About that though, at some point Q gonna get one for Lima Senior, man.
Yeah,
I mean, because them boys compete. Ever since he's been there, they've been competing every year. He has one of the best high school basketball programs in the state of Ohio.
Yeah,
I want to say, forget state of Ohio. I want to say in the country. Shout out to you, man. Proud of you, man. Proud of the work you're doing down there. You're not only just winning basketball games, you're transforming them kids' lives, man. I appreciate it. You can see it. You can see it on social media. Everything you're doing, man. Big shouts out to you.
I'll tell y'all right now, and I'm calling this on 3/13/2022. And this, you want to say I didn't have no burner. I got a burner right now for y'all as far as talking about with Quincy Simpson. I'm telling you right now. One of the next Mr. Basketballs from the state of Ohio is currently in 7th grade, going into 8th grade right here in Lima, Ohio. His name is Shane Foster Jr. Trust what I'm telling you. This kid might be the greatest high school basketball player to ever come out of Lima, ever. He might be better than Greg Simpson. He might be better than Aaron Hutchins. He might be better than Jamal Butler. This kid is really the truth.
Shane and Jody's son?
Yes, sir. Shane Foster Jr.
Oh
seventh grade.
no! I'm thinking that Sean is with Jody. Okay,
Yeah.
no, so Shane Foster. Okay.
Yes, he is really that good of a basketball player.
Who he play for?
West. He's in seventh grade. He would start ninth grade now, and next year he would start varsity in eighth grade. That's how good of a player he is.
You go back far enough. He better than Greg was at West.
He's on par or might be a little bit better. His game is unbelievable.
You trying to tell me he better than Q's son was?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, X wasn't as good as Greg. And X is a great player, but Greg was special. We're talking about when Greg was in seventh grade. He played up. He scored 50 in the game against South.
So the other day in the seventh grade championship for the track, right? They only scored the team that they played against only scored 29 points. The West team scored 34 points. He had 29 of the 34 points. And he stopped in the third quarter and looked up in the stands and told his dad, "This is boring. This is boring."
That's what I'm saying. When we was in eighth grade, Greg was in seventh. Greg scored 48 out of 54 in an eighth grade game.
The seventh grade kid that I'm talking about had 240+ games this year in seventh grade.
BG, who got the most Mr. Basketballs in the state of Ohio?
As far as per capita per city, Lime, Ohio. We got 6. We got 6 Mr. Basketballs.
Who are they?
Hutchins, Jamal Butler, X, Greg Twice, and one of them dudes in the 50s. I can't call the dude's name. He won Mr. Basketball in the 50s. We got 6. In the 60s, we got.
They didn't start having Mr. Basketball until Jim Jackson won the first one.
X Twice, Hutch.
Hey, that's it. X Twice, Greg Twice.
X Twice, Hutch, yeah, X Twice, Hutch, Jamar Butler, Hut, and X Twice, Greg Twice, Hutch, Jamar Butler.
That's got to be something, man. And 2 out of the same family, you got 4 Mr. Basketballs in the same family. That don't make sense, man. Hey, bottle them jeans up, man. Bottle them jeans up and sell them. Y'all need to start selling them, man. Bottle them jeans up and sell them, man. Listen.
And Quincy got another one coming. Quincy's son is in seventh grade. He can play too. He's not no scrub. He's not a scrub. He's actually very, very talented.
Well, my parting shot, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna let our know-it-alls know. Definitely my parting shot is, man, high school basketball is over with. Westlake played good. They played all the way up into the semis. And then they got beat by McKinney, and McKinney beat Duncanville. Duncanville beat McKinney. And I'm going to tell you something. Duncanville is putting together a powerhouse down there, up there in Dallas, in the Dallas and surrounding area, man. Definitely one of the better teams in the nation this year. They got a couple of kids that are McDonald's All-Americans, and then they got juniors on that team. It's still just ridiculous. But, hey, man, high school basketball is over with. They're starting track, and definitely we want to just shout out all of the young kids that are actually getting some shine from our local cities. We appreciate you guys, and we thank you for just watching with us and kicking it with us on the Know-It-Alls. If you like what you have seen, definitely like and subscribe. You can like it on Facebook, subscribe on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and when we go live, you'll be able to catch us, man. For myself, for the rest of the Know-It-All squad, we out of here, man. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.